Hi, welcome to my podcast, The Happy Hacker with Ambition. Today is Tuesday and I had been working on a Tuesday, but we've changed that date so I'm leaning into the car to a Monday. And we've had, although it was really mild yesterday, you can hear the girls, they're waiting to be fed. They only get a little bit of food because they've got so much grass, but they do get a taste of something in the morning, mainly so I can give Tia her Butte. Back you go. And Iki gets her biotin for her feet. Indy gets a little bit, oh gosh, trying to undo Tia's glove. Biotin as well for her feet. I do this because it is proven that it does really help, and it's shown with Indy's feet especially, who's pacing up and down and looking at me at the moment. Pixie Pony is in her stable. Laura has yet again beaten me down to the ponies. I try and miss the school run because it's absolutely bonkers where we are, and yeah, right, okay, so Pixie's, so I've got to just muck out round Pixie and do that. I'm just taking their rain sheets off. The Eke and Tia had rain sheets on last night because it said it was going to drop to about 5, and obviously, you know, they're both in their 20s, so I do actually want to give them a little bit of, just, but they could go into the shelter if they want to, but at the moment they're not choosing that option, and they will as soon as it gets a bit colder. Obviously Indy is in. Indy's pacing about, so I need to just get her head collar sorted out. The frost this morning, so where Indy's little paddock is, the sun has already come down, and obviously frosty bits means that all the sugars rise to the top, so people have got horses with laminitis or have been susceptible to laminitis. It's worth keeping an eye on that, but where she is at the moment, the sun's been on it for a little bit because, as usual, I'm a bit later, so I'm doing that. So I'm just going to go and get a little head collar, and Indy thinks she gets fed at lunchtime in the morning as well, but what she's actually getting is just the biotin in her bowl and some dry peppermint, which makes her, she eats it, so, you know, she doesn't need anything else, and it seems to work, so that works well for me. Should have been up a bit earlier, but as I said, I wanted to miss the school, and then I was up earlier, but I discovered horrors. I have a mouse in my tack room. Come on, you! Which just is a no-go. Right, wait. Yeah, that's what I like about her. She just runs me over. She goes, oh, I need to eat something, Mummy, because I'm obviously starving. But Indy, unless she has a head collar on, is not a nice pony. And it was funny, a memory came up on my Facebook memories, and it was Guido 3 years ago. It doesn't seems longer ago than 3 years ago. He came to train Indy with us, because we said we'd had a few issues, and this is when she'd been with Laura, but she was in with my lot at that time. There you go. Well, just no need to get grumpy, and he was saying about, yes, you have to be quiet with her and everything, because as he came down, she tried to double barrel me, and I'm afraid I threw my lead rope at her. She had a coat on, so it didn't actually hurt her, and he reprimanded me slightly. But then he said later on, he went, oh, yeah, I can see what she's like, yeah. So it was quite interesting. It was an interesting day. It was great to see him. He came all the way down from Lincolnshire, across from Lincolnshire on his motorbike, on his Harley. It was funny. And there we were out in the middle. And we were actually, 3 years ago, we were still in the winter paddocks. In the summer paddocks, we hadn't moved over. So we've moved over quite early this year. But I think it's to give the summer paddock more of a rest. And obviously Dean will want us to move out in beginning of March. So is that, gosh, she makes a lot of noise. She makes a big thing over a little bit of biotin and peppermint, dried peppermint. But anyway, as long as she's happy, I'm a happy bunny. Ken came yesterday, and it was really interesting because I said to him, no, she seems a lot better. I'd gone down her back, and as I'd moved my hand down her back, I had changed the amount of pressure that I had put down her spine. So he didn't get a reaction at all, because he'd said to me, you know, before, any horse will react to too much pressure. So I thought, right, I'm not doing too much pressure. I will change it and get that right. I'm just going to put this back on her now so she has her muzzle on. She's going to look at me and go, I don't think so. She's actually very, very good with her muzzle on. I worry that it rubs her and everything. But as long as because she gets the night off with it, and obviously that's the longest time she gets that. So she's all right. Right, she's done. The girls are done. You can hear the, hiya Pixie Pony. You can hear the clicking of my electric fence, so I must have touched something on that. I'm now just going to go in and muck out around Pixie, so she at least got clean stable. She shouldn't have to go in. And I'm just going to do a quick whistle because I've lost Blueberry. She came with me and then she went running out the gate. Anyway, so Ken was fascinating. Indy was a bit grumpy, and he said to me, oh, I haven't seen her this grumpy before. And I thought, oh, I think you have. Because it was the evening, and when she saw me, she thought, it was 3 o'clock. But when she saw me, she thought she was going to... I've got to say, there are so many spiders' webs that have been shown up in the frost this morning. And it just looks amazing. On the top of the water barrel butt thing that we've got here, Bowser even, get the right word, they've encircled the cleaning brush and they've just made a web all the way across it. It's just amazing. Nature, really interesting. Anyway, good girl. That's what I like to see. A Blueberry that comes back to the whistle. It's strange, really, because I taught Blueberry from the day I had her. I used to blow the whistle so she would come back, because she was only a little puppy, but she was still a bit of a little puppy. Hello. Right, you're going to have to let me in there so I can muck you out, darling. And, so Ken found... He said to me last time that she was in a lot of pain and he couldn't work out what she'd done. And he actually thought that a lot of the height, when she was doing all her bucking broncos all that time ago, that what she did was she put rib number 17 out on the... trying to think. So if my pony is looking at me, it would be on my left hand side, so rib on that side, rib number 17. So obviously as I went down the back, you go, past rib 18, I release the pressure, because obviously it's as far as I'm going, rib 18, 17 for the saddle. So didn't think it was that. Then I said to Ken, I went, do you think it's because I'm quite fat? And he laughed and he went, I would never say that to anybody. But what he thinks she's done is that because and he looked back over his notes and he showed me on the iPad that exactly a year ago, she did the same thing. which I'd completely forgotten about. And he said that sometimes, once it's like if you dislocate your shoulder quite frequently, and it goes, it really, really hurts, then you go, actually I can deal with it. Then you put it back in yourself and start to do things yourself. So he showed me, but he said, don't go looking for it, because you go looking for it, you thereby hangs a lot of problems. So I went, okay, I won't go looking for it. Gosh, the sun is out, it's now getting really warm. So he showed me a way to manipulate it gently. And it's all about gently. He said, because if you do something really... And he actually demonstrated on my shoulder the pressure that you needed, which was fascinating. And as soon as he put it in the right place again, it was amazing. She was like, yeah, okay, I'm fine. Like, what are you here for? I don't like you. It was really, really good. So I was really pleased with that. Very interesting. I know, Pixie, I'm going to sort it out for you. You've got a little bit of hay there, but you need new water and you need to be mucked out, don't you? Yes, I'll do that. So that was really, really good. But the main thing for making a podcast today, hello Iki, is that we went along to barrel racing. Now, as you may know, I was going, yeah, let's do a bit of barrel racing, because it's something different, and it's something different to get your horses. You know, you have to have a go at everything, really. EQ knee clipping. She's looking at me like a fluffy teddy bear. I can just see the original clip. It's going to have to be clipped, girl. Yeah. And it's something I knew that Laura was very keen on doing. Her sister has a horse that was trained in Western riding and was very, very good. And it just seemed like quite interesting to go along and have a look at what was going on in this. So off we went to the Wakefield Stud, which is where it was being held. And the last time I took Eek there, it was dressage. So she got off and she looked at me and went, But she was with Donnie, and they travelled really well together. Donnie was very sweet to her, and Lucy was excited about it as well. And it's probably, I have to be honest, I suppose, apart from taking her out hunting many years ago, I don't think I've ever taken her into a group, Eek. And goodness knows, well done, Pixie. Not my mucking out fork. She said, stop talking, get on and muck me out. I haven't actually, I don't think I've really ridden her in a group before like that. So it was quite good fun. And it was, age range was quite interesting. Mainly children, mainly kids, young teenagers, but it was good fun. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my goodness me, because everything that I was being told to do was alien to the way that I ride. So riding around on the buckle, yeah, always do, Gertie used to say that to me about warming the horses up, ride around on the buckle. Eek tends to fall over her own feet, so I've never been that keen, and she always looks for the reins to balance, so it's not the best way of doing something. So I tried to do as I was told, and then we were just halting, using your body. It's really the way they were teaching us is how to ride properly, and it was really good fun. So then we went into I can't remember what they called it, but there was a 15 or a 10 metre circle made out. Normally that would be done on with a marker of flour or something like that to mark it out, so that if you put a foot over that, you would see it, there'd be no disagreement over it, you would see it, and like a keyhole. So there was a line of bollards to ride down, then you would turn around when you got into the circle, quickly turn around and come back out. So it was good fun. So Eek and I trotted down the first time to do that. I thought it was good fun. And then you're learning to turn by turning your body, and you're just using a loose one rein just to turn. So actually you're using your body rather than your reins to do anything. So we did that, and it's good fun. And he actually really enjoyed it. Hello hello Blueberry, hello. Come check out where I am. It's quite good. So that was brilliant. So we went and we did that for a couple of times, and then we started with the barrels. And with barrel racing, there's 3 barrels. There's 2 opposite each other on opposite sides of the school, and 1 at the other end. And you have to, whichever way you start, if you went round the first one left, you had to do the other 2 on the right hand side, and if you did the first one right, you had to do the other ones on the left. Now, being dyslexic, I have a big issue with my left and my right hand. Absolutely, totally, always have done. Even when I was very, very tiny and I used to go to dance lessons, my dancing instructor used to say to me, "Other left, Steffi," and that completely confused me. So I thought I had 2 lefts anyway. So it's always been an issue with me. So I knew, and Laura was watching, and Lucy's taking it all in. She goes very quiet because she really listens to instructions. It's really interesting. And I was thinking, well, hope she's all right. But she was fine. She loved it. And little Donnie was a little superstar. And they really did enjoy themselves. And it's worth also remembering that the last time that Lucy came out, when she did her showing and her show jumping in the collecting ring, there were lots of kids cantering about. And it's always worth remembering that if your child is taking part in something and is really confident on its pony, and it sees a smaller child that is, having a good time but just trotting around, they should respect that, and they shouldn't actually go hell for leather. And if you're a parent and you're there, you need to be aware of that, and you need to say something. That's my lecture over, just saying. And anyway, Lucy had come off, so she had got a little bit of a wobble, and but she hasn't shown it in any other way. But when we went into that environment, she suddenly looked a little bit worried, and Laura was able to be down in there was a couple of mums that were standing down in there so that they could catch the ponies and everything, just in case. But Lucy loved it, and she really did. Oh, she did so well. She really did so well, because she was definitely the young. Well, apart from the lady with the child on the lead rein, Lucy was definitely the youngest one riding on her own, and it was really good to do. And then we went herring around, and then we were split into 2 teams, and then we did this against the clock. So you had to learn the basics first, and then you had to deal with it. And it was really good fun. I must admit, I would think if you were sitting watching, like any time you sit and watch anything, you must get cold and bored watching other people riding. But it was 2 hours of excellent fun, and it was probably longer than 11. It was 3 hours. Just sitting there working it out. It was 3 hours of fun. So I really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Laura towed us, which was lovely, and I followed behind, or I followed in front, because some of it's a bit twisty-turny going to Wakefield Stud. And it's a good idea so that we can see, because there's nowhere for us to go. A car would have to reverse back. So I did that. It was just really, really good fun. And Iki even came home with a rosette. So that was fun. She came 3rd in the adults class. That's great fun. They took there's a great picture of Eke and I standing up with it and grinning, because they asked us to take it. They wanted to take a picture, so I stood there and grinned. And of course I got my bright orange hat cover on my hat. So yeah, it was just a bit of fun, and it was good. It was really good fun. And Laura videoed it, and I didn't realise that she'd done that, so she'd filmed it on her phone and sent it to me. So I had that on WhatsApp as well. I can't recommend it enough. It's good to get out of your comfort zone. It's good to give something else a go. And I think Eek really enjoyed it. Her little ears were forward the whole time. She thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's something that Indy would adore. I think she'd get very excited, but I do think she'd enjoy it. So I will endeavour to take her to a training day as well. Now I know she's better. Get back on, ride her as usual. We should be fine. We've got to clip her this week. And just take it from there. Oh, don't know who she's going for now. So anyway, that is what we did. I am the Happy Hacker. The plan for next week is possibly going to pick up a new pony that we may be having for a little while, maybe a bit longer, we'll see. Take it from there and see how we get on. I am the Happy Hacker. Thank you for listening. It's a glorious, glorious day. The sun is shining. It's a bright blue sky. It's been cold overnight, which is just glorious. And I am so lucky to be able to live my dream with my ponies. It's just fab. Anyway, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please like and share, comment, or more importantly, subscribe. You can find this on the Steffi de Bootman YouTube page. It's called Steffi. Please like, share and comment. And you can find this on all good podcast providers, Google, Spotify, loads of them. You can find it. And I will also put out a little taster of this out on my Instagram. Thank you very much for listening.